guys, welcome to episode, I don't even know what episode this is, 5 of Miss Clark's AP Euro Review. Woohoo, we are at the end of season 1 of this show, basically wrapping up time period 1, and it's gonna end on another war, woohoo, the religious wars. So that kind of came out of the Protestant Reformation. Starting right off the bat, we have the War of the Three Henrys, which is going to go from 1587 to 1589. To be completely honest, you don't necessarily need to know all the differences between the Henrys. You just have to remember who won. So basically what happened was Henry of Navarre married the king's sister, and so when that whole wedding took place, Catherine Medici came in and basically executed a whole bunch of the wedding guests who were all Huguenots. And she was Catholic. She went and had a whole bunch of the wedding guests murdered when they all came in town for the wedding. Great way to start off your marriage. And so when the King of France died, there's going to be a lot of debate over who's going to be the new King of France. And so it started this whole thing. Basically, Henry of Navarre won, and he actually ends up converting to Catholicism when he gets on the throne. But he becomes Henry IV when he gets on the throne. And when he's on the throne, he passes this thing called the Edict of Nantes, which basically said that you can pick what you want, and Calvinism is okay. Not every religion, but Calvinism okay for his Huguenots. And so then we start to get into the 30 Years' War. And so the 30 Years' War, it's mostly going to be fought in Germany. Basically, part of the reason why they fought is because all these German princes wanted autonomy from the Holy Roman Empire. And France also wanted to limit the power of the Habsburgs. Very interesting looking Habsburgs. So when we're looking at the very first phase, that's going to be the pretzels, if you remember. So that's going to be the Czechoslovakian Calvinists were afraid that the Holy Roman Empire Ferdinand II was going to take away their religious rights. And so, supported by Frederick V, they tried to attack and ended up losing. So the Catholics are going to win the first battle. The second phase is going to be that Danish phase when Christian the Fourth of Denmark tries to come in. He's Lutheran, he's aiding them, and ends up losing as well. And then we get into the third phase, which is Gustavus Adolphus in the Swedish phase, or the Swedish fish, if you remember. And he is going to be very, very successful, and he gets a lot of funding and a lot of help from the French Cardinal Richelieu. However, he dies in battle, so it ends up being that it wasn't totally successful. It didn't end the war there, because then it goes into the fourth phase of the war, which goes into the French phase. And this is when Cardinal Richelieu is like, all right, I might as well just do the dirty work myself. And France and Holland and Savoy go up against Spain, who was backing Germany this whole time period because they are also Catholic. And they end up coming to a peace agreement in the Peace of Westphalia, which is in 1648, which you remember is the very last year of time period 1 because of the Treaty of Westphalia. And it ends up being that basically Calvinism is good to go. You can kind of decide what you want. It created independent countries, and it also lowered it ended up lowering the power of the Habsburg family, restoring that balance of power between the state and the church. Germany is going to be completely devastated from this massive war. It's also going to establish Protestantism as an actual religion, and it's going to kind of cement that in place. And so in the end, those are going to be your major wars of religion. There's a lot of wars of religion, but as long as you can remember the War of the Three Henrys and then the different phases of the 30 Years' War, you should be good to go on this super quick video on the wars of religion.